Stainless steel fountain restoration. In this video, we took a stainless steel fountain that had some sort of powder coating on it and grinded it off. Now we did that with an 80 grit flap disc, and we've degreased it and scotch-brite it. Now we're going to apply our patina. For the patina, we're going to use Slate Black traditional patina. Now, Slate Black is traditionally used on steel as well as bronze, brass, and copper. It works also on aluminum, so Slate Black is very versatile. Slate Black on stainless will give kind of a reddish brown, a really mottled, sometimes a few blacks and whites in there, but it's a really unique, cool finish. Now, to use the Slate Black on stainless, you have to get the metal up to about 180 to 200 degrees. Here we're just hitting it with our propane torch. You can see as it gets up to temperature, we spray it with the Slate Black out of the spritzer bottle that it comes in, and you can see that kind of brownish hue coming through. Often it takes more than one coat to do this. You can see you'll spray it on and it doesn't quite get everything. You can see I'm going back and hitting that again. Usually I estimate about 2 coats for this process. You might be too hot, you might be too cold, and there it doesn't react. If you didn't clean well enough and you didn't get through that first layer of nickel and chrome in the stainless, it makes it so the patina has a really hard time getting to the metal to react. If you want to learn more about that, you can take a look at our stainless black video. But you can see we're just going in and slowly spraying it on. You get a little bit of that pattern depending on how you put it on. So if we were, say, brushing it or sponging it, we might get a little bit of different effect. I personally like how spraying does it. It does a lot of the work for you. And you can always overlap and kind of get rid of that circular pattern if you feel like you're getting that too much. But you can see in certain areas where we're just not getting as much reaction. And we're going to deal with that in a little bit. We're going to continue showing you the rest of the sides, then we'll move on to that. You can see right here though, we can go back over it and you can get some reaction. If you do this and it kind of starts going a yellowy green, just hold off and we'll show you in later on the video what you can do to try and get it to where you need it to be without getting so much yellow. Little yellow can look really interesting on the piece. But if you start getting a lot of yellow, it starts not looking as interesting, in my opinion. Here I know I'm getting some reaction, so I'm just putting on more. And again, you got to kind of play with it, and it's one of those, Slate Black on stainless is really one you've got to learn by doing. I'm happy to show you guys here and show you how I do it, but really the best way is just get a scrap piece and just work with it before you jump into your actual project. It's not necessarily difficult, but there are some nuances and a little bit of a learning curve that makes it so much easier if you just do a test piece before. I know we say do a test on a lot of this stuff, but I can't emphasize using Slate Black on stainless. Really need to do a test sample just so you learn how hot it needs to get, and just little things like that that makes doing the actual project a lot easier. We went ahead and sped up the film for this part because it's the same as the last. We wanted you to see the entire process, but we didn't want you to have to sit through 25 minutes of us patining the piece at natural speed. So we didn't film the next part that I'm going to talk about, the inside. So we did Slate Black on the outside, and then on the inside, again, degreased and scotch-brighted a little bit, but that was all the vinyl pearl black, and so that way it looks a little darker inside. It's not really going to be seen, but that way it's nice and protected. It'll hold up against the water, and overall it just kind of gave it a cool little two-tone feel. Now, one of the questions we get a lot when referring to bigger pieces and a hot process is, how do you do it all? And you can see right here, this thing is probably about 4 or 5 feet wide and 2 feet deep, and probably about 1.5 feet tall. And while it may not be as big as an actual sheet of stainless, it's still a bigger piece. So the way we do it is just do it in sections. You can see I'm starting right, going left, and we're not overly worried about overlapping Same thing if you're doing, say, Japanese brown on steel or ferric nitride on copper. You just do it in sections. Everything will overlap naturally when you're just trying to get the color in. And that's part of the naturalization of a patina is you don't want it completely flat. Usually, there are those cases. But normally you want it pretty modeled. So that's all you need to do is just overlap each other and just continue moving forward. So here we're going to show you how to deal with the slate black not wanting to take. This could be a couple of different things. Usually it's because cleaning wasn't exactly where it needed to be, but we can move forward from it. And a little bit of stainless steel showing through actually makes it look really cool. But if you're wanting more coverage, here's what you need to do. And I'll show you right here, testing a little bit what happens when you continue forcing it. It just kind of dulls it out. Sometimes you get a lot more yellow. What you need to do is get a little distilled water, and a helper will help with this because you've got your hands full with the torch and the slate black. But spray it on and immediately have that second person spray the distilled water. You can see I'm trying a few different things here, trying to heat it just to show you guys what it does. Overall, doesn't help a whole lot. So here I'm going to go in, put a little bit of slate black in, and you'll see the second person come in, hit it with the distilled water. So here we go, and we'll go ahead and get it back up to temperature, hit it with the slate black, and again, distilled water right after. There it goes. And you can see it doesn't really have a whole lot of time to go that really yellowy look. And we can continue doing this to try and get it a little bit closer to what we want. You can see I went a little heavier, so the temperature actually dropped pretty low. But now we're into something that actually blends better with the piece. We ever cleared the base once it's cooled down, and now we're going to move on to the arms, the part that holds the glass for the fountain. And for this, we did half of it slate black, it's stainless of course, and then the other half we did on vinyl. Now, the vinyl part's not going to be facing, it's going to be towards the wall, and so that's why we just did the one side for the slate black. So we went ahead and heated this up. For vinyl, you only needed about 120 degrees or so. And here we're just going to spray on the vinyl just as is. This is the pearl black, just to give it a little iridescence, just because we like the iridescence. It's kind of a cool look. We know it's not going to be seen, but you can see we're just spraying it right on. And normally I recommend going slate black then vinyl, but for this we just cleaned it afterwards, flap disked it, and it came right off. And here is where the piece actually resides for the customer. And here's the slate black on stainless. We'll go ahead and move in a little bit closer so you can see. So you can't even see the black vinyl in there for the base, but we've got a little two-toned slate black going on. Different grades of stainless gave us a little bit different look to it, but still the similar feel. And even up at the top. So it all came out pretty good. Everything is coated with the Everclear, 2 coats of Everclear matte just to protect it from all that water. So here we have our final slate black on stainless. Slate black and pearl black vinyl are available at www.sculptnouveau.com.